Good afternoon, September the 19th, 2013. This is CISG113, Section 1, Information Security and Privacy. Today is day 2 in the first week of classes. So let's get started for today. Good afternoon, welcome back to this classroom. This is CISG113, Section 1, Information Security and Privacy. If you look at the website that we invite you to come visit almost every day, you can see that I have already uploaded a YouTube video of the last class right here in this link. I have just shown you the video of this class on this link. What about this link? Well, the same course is also offered in sections number 3, and I did also the video for sections number 3. First, there is a part 1 in J406, and part 2 is in T103. And if you want to refer to the videos there, feel free to come visit here, and you can be much more comfortable in understanding what we'd like you to do. Basically, it's just explaining the course context. Remember what we did last time on Monday here. I explained to you the syllabus. Oh yes, I forgot to remind you. Whenever you come to this class, bring the syllabus with you. Okay? Remember to pick up the syllabus last time? Bring the syllabus with you. It's very important because based on the syllabus, I can refer to where we are and what we are supposed to do. It's very simple, right? Theme and good enough. So if you do not have the syllabus, I still have some spare copy I can share with you. But bring the syllabus with you. So if you look at day number 1, under day number 1, we have actually walked you through those number of items. And I hope you did spend some time at home reading individual link there, because it's very important that if you stay in this course, you need to understand what is there. Okay? And then today is day number 2. We look at day number 2. We do have a bunch of links here. Okay? These links are what we want you to be aware of. And starting from this class, we start the active learning episode. Oh yes. Remember I told you, starting from next week, okay, in each class, I'm going to devote the second 30 minutes to your time. That you can come to the class, you prepare, and each one of you, not each one of you, 6 of you in each class will be given a time slot not more than 5 minutes to do your sharing of what you discover in this course from the previous week's reading. For example, next week, when you come to the class, I expect that you have already done some reading here on reading for week number 1. Okay? Now, not reading there, but you don't need to read them all. You select one from each major section. In week number 1, there are 2 major sections. So that means you select 2 items. Alright? You do some reading there, and then you do some notes taking. Notes taking. What you need to do is, after you've done some reading, you come to this electronic notebook here, the Primary Online Learning Journal. You click into this Primary Online Learning Journal, you will be seeing something like this. This is the beginning of this week's Online Learning Journal. You edit this journal, so you will be presented with a text editor like this, and you type in what you have finished reading, your understanding, your questions, or whatever you can capture in the reading. And definitely you need to capture the link to read it here. For example, if I were you, say, this is my online learning journal, so I would like to do another journals here. So let's see, we come to this. Alright, I come to this section. Okay, so I come here. This is week number 1. I go to readings for week number 1. So you can see that on this page, I have 2 major sections. For example, if I select this, what is information security? I select this as my one kind of reading item. This is a page, right? So what am I supposed to do? So what I'm supposed to do is I'm going to copy this. Alright, I copy this. And I go back to my online learning journal. I say this is what I have to read. So I just press Control E. So I copy this here. This is my topic. All right? So this is my topic. So the next thing is I want to save it. So I save it. I have this link. Now I just want to tell my friends in this class, this is what I've chosen. So when you click on this, again you report to the same thing. And you see the point here? So that is one way for you to capture. And then of course you can still continue to edit it on the specific things about this topic. And then what you need to do is go back here, information security, separated process between information secure. This is the key idea. So that is my notes, okay? That is my notes. Don't just suppose we can capture here. Okay, let me see. Yes, I'm going to capture it right here. You see, my fingers are a little dumb, all right? So I'm going to capture it here, and I go back to my journal here, so I'm going to face it. So this is how I capture information, right? So do you see the point here? I just captured some notes from my reading. You see that? It's very up to you how you capture your notes, but this is what I expect of you. You read something, you capture some ideas, and later on I'm going to show you how to cite the source. That means provide source of the information. So that is what I mean by journaling, and after that you save it. So after that you can see that in your journal you have captured some information. This is what I expect of you when you have selected a reading item, finish reading it for some time, and then you do something like this in your journal. All right? And when you come up here to share, you can stop the journal, or it's the seed, and then you can tell it's the idea from your understanding. Don't just read it out like this, okay? Tell it something lovely within 5 minutes, okay? Then you can get yourself prepared. Every week you try to discover something interesting, okay? It may be a YouTube video to capture some of this. Alright, so having said that, may I just bring to your attention to the following. I have given you a discussion thread. Actually, it's just a message here. I invite you to sign up for next week's presentations or sharing. So in each class, I'm going to give each student not more than 5 minutes. That means in each second 30 minutes, we can entertain 6 students. Okay? 6 times 5 is 30 minutes. So on day number 3, next Monday, I expected 6 students going to sign up here. On day number 4, Thursday, another 6 students will sign up here. Okay? So each student who sign up here will be given a time slot to do your sharing. And it's very important. Doing the journal will earn you the 15 point, the semester point. Remember the assessment, 15. And when you come here to do the sharing, each time you can earn a maximum of 5 points. These are considered as bonus points. So the more sharing you do, the more bonus point you can get. If you don't do any sharing, okay, it doesn't hurt you, but you may not be able to earn as many points as you want. And I highly encourage my students to share. It's one way to help yourself learn better. Okay? So make sure you understand it. Oh, how do you let me know that you want to share? That means you want to pick up a slot. This is a message in the online discussion forum. Suppose if you want to do the sharing, very simple. When you come up to the your moderate button, you just press reply. Okay? When you press reply, just type here, I want to share on which day, okay? First come, first serve. If I have more than 6 students who want to serve, who want to share on a particular day, I will put the overflow student in the next day. If I have more than 12 students who want to share on that particular week, I put the lucky draw, okay? 6 out of the, for each particular period. So each week I expect you to do something like this. So you share something, so other students will learn from you. And you can also learn from the other students sharing. Alright? So this is something very important. So I hope you do not miss this very good opportunity to learn. I tell you what is much, much better than a quiz. Okay? It's much, much better than a quiz. When you share something with your prepared material, it's your heart telling your friends what to learn. Okay? So having said that, let me just go back here. Your class is the first class to experience some kind of in-class activity on Monday. Remember, you did something. I give you pieces of A4 paper, right? And then you did some blue paper, draw pictures, and share. Now today, let me try to recapture why you do something like this. And so we start today's lecture by understanding what is active learning. Now get ready. I need to give you some paper first, because every time when you watch something, you need to do something. All right? It's very interesting. I'm going to give to each table a maximum of 4 pieces of paper first. Okay? Okay? Yes? So you want to work best. So you can see much better. Okay. 1 piece of paper here. Now please get ready. Watch the screen. Listen to the message here very carefully on the ideas of active learning. And I want each one of you to take as much notes as you could. Okay, drawing down the ideas after watching. So if you want to be ready and feel comfortable, you can also come to sit on this table. You can also come to sit on this table. Okay? So otherwise, it's very difficult for you to watch and keep track of things like this. We're going to start our first episode today. Wow, I'm very good in terms of using the time, because I have invited English language center teacher to come here later on, so that they will introduce to you some services right in. Are you ready? Okay, now pay attention. Active learning.
What is active learning? First, active learning involves teaching techniques that are something other than straight lecture. Second, active learning is not an entire project or assignment, but a much smaller task you give your students. However, a project or assignment can have several active learning pieces within it. Third, in order to consider something active learning, students must be doing something including discovering, processing, and applying information, not just listening to a lecture or reading a PowerPoint. Active learning can take many different forms, and instructors often use different strategies in face-to-face and online classes due to their differing approaches to teaching and learning. For example, in a classroom, the instructor might ask each student to turn to their neighbor and discuss a particular topic. In an online course, the same exercise can be accomplished using a discussion thread, document sharing, or instant messaging. The idea is the same, but the approach is different. So what about these examples are considered active learning? In our face-to-face class example, simply having students turn to their neighbor and discuss a topic is active learning. In the online course, having 2 students discuss the same topic via a discussion thread is active learning as well. Research shows that students learn more when they're engaged in active learning. It's important to remember that lecture does have its place in both face-to-face and online environments. However, during active learning, students are involved in much more than just reading or listening, and more emphasis is placed on higher-order thinking skills, such as analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Further research has shown that students retain 70% of what they say and write, and they retain 90% of what they do. Compare this with the fact that students retain only 10% of what they read and 20% of what they hear, and you'll start to understand why active learning is so important. Now that we have an understanding of what active learning is and why we should implement it, let's look at some specific examples to give you a clearer picture of what constitutes active learning in practice. Let's take the example of a small group discussion. In a face-to-face setting, you might group students up and ask them to discuss a particular topic. While this alone is active learning, you can add to the exercise by asking each group to present their findings to the class in the form of a standard presentation, a radio or TV commercial, or a comedy skit. Now let's look at a small group discussion in an online course. You can group students into separate discussion threads and have them discuss a particular topic. Again, this alone can be considered active learning, but you can add to the exercise by having students present their findings using various Web 2.0 tools, such as recording a presentation with a PowerPoint or Prezi, submitting a voice thread with audio and a series of images that relate to the topic, or present their topic in story format using Google Maps. As you can see, the possibilities are virtually limitless, so be creative. Both our face-to-face and online active learning examples cover the higher order thinking skills of analysis and synthesis, but what about evaluation? In this example, it would be quite easy to hold a peer review of each presentation. In a face-to-face class, you can simply have students give their opinions on how appropriate each group's observations were and how well they presented the information. This should spur more conversation with the guidance of the instructor. In an online course, peer reviews can be held using a simple discussion thread or a voice thread. So what about these examples are considered active learning? In our face-to-face and online class examples, the small group discussion is active learning, as is the preparation for the presentation itself, and the peer review of the presentation. Each step in the process is itself a distinct active learning strategy. Since students retain more information during active learning, simply stated, active learning equals better learning.
So here you go. You have just heard a very brief and concise descriptions of what active learning is all about. And the reasons why I'd like to show you this video is to make sure you understand the rationale, the reasons why I'd like you to sit on tables like this, and what I would like to give you chances to talk to one another. Now let's try a very simple 5-minute episode of active learning based on what you've just watched. I would like you to share your notes together in your table, and you just need to circulate a note and let the next person's copyrights look at your notes. Copyright means like this. Okay, if you pass this to this lady passes it to her, and you pass it to her. Okay, this one. Okay, make sure you spend 5 minutes time watching, reading one another's notes, and then discuss about what is active learning all about. And then we're going to get into today's core business, introducing to you the first topic. It's, better say, 2 topics of this week: information security and privacy. Okay, so talk about it in 5 minutes. What is your understanding of active learning based on this topic? All right. Very good. Yes, talk about it. One. So make sure you grab as many points as possible and you understand what active learning is all about. Yes?
I don't know what should we write.
No, don't use this paper at this point, just the white paper. Good. I will tell you later. Okay. This is a very important piece of paper. about active learning.
这样的学生可以理很多，只有根据美国 active institute 这个渠道，超過90%同埋70%係即係自己同學係 share 之後嘅 learning 即係叫做係通過 discuss 或者有一個經歷，咁樣知道嘅即係佢係 share 咁樣好多，即係最尾佢仲有幫助 activity 嗰個 learning is better than passive hesitate 大概
So I want each table to answer the following very simple but important questions after you have discussed some time. What is the particular examples of active learning activities in class? What is the particular example of active learning activities in class? Actually, this is what we're doing now. If you read the syllabus, remember, somewhere on page 10 or 11, we do have something called teaching and learning activity. And when you look at teaching and learning activity, which is given a code TLA, I have a set of TLAs, right? And what the specific TLA is, TLA, okay, you see that? 6, right? So one of the specific TLA is called small group discussions, okay? At the end of small group discussion, there is often another very interesting activity called student net class forum. So we are doing beside lecture what we call small group discussions now. But later on, we will have students net class forum. Remember, starting next week, we will have students, 6 students coming to do the sharing. Later on, I will give groups the opportunity, groups in terms of pair, 2 students, in terms of team, 2 pairs, okay? So when you do the sharing, you don't just share. At the end of sharing, you want students to join you in the discussion, okay? That is called student net discussion forum, all right? So it's this kind of activity that I'm helping you to get involved. And these are examples of active learning, okay? Active learning activity. You need to get used to it, okay? So now you just keep this in mind. The focus of this week in terms of information security and privacy are 2 essential questions. 1, what is information security? 2, what is information privacy? As you can see from the heading of the week, okay? The theme of the week is already here. What is information security? What is information privacy? And of course, you can find different answers to this question. That's why you need to go to the readings for the week to look up the answer. There are many possible answers. But as a teacher, I will give you the simplest idea. Look at this. This is my wallet, okay? A wallet contains money. Everybody knows it. Now, other than money, what does it contain? Normally, cards. What kind of cards? ID card. What does an ID card contain? Still a number or some information? Yes. The ID card contains information, or the wallet contains a lot of information. For example, my ATM card, I can go to the bank, draw money. My ID card, if someone steals my ID card and say, I am who and who, give me money, I'm robbing. That's dangerous, okay? Okay, and then it has money, it has other things, at least my washing receipt. Without it, I cannot go to the laundry, pick up my clothes. So it contains information. So information is something I mean every one of us knows, okay? Now what is meant by security? Security. Keep it safe, right? So what if someone pick up my wallet, throw away my wallet, just get my money? Good. My information is left intact. But what if someone just pick my ID and throw away my wallet without picking my money? Then I'm scared, because what they want is information. They want to use my identity to do something bad, steal someone's money, do some harm. That is the most dangerous. So in order not to let things like this happen, I need to keep my information safe, close to me, or close in a particular safe area. So security is something we know it very well. But what is meant by privacy? Privacy. Secret, yes. The secret that is purely of my own. Okay? You do not, yes, personal, you do not want someone else to know it. For example, if I keep my girlfriend's picture here, I don't want anybody to look at my girlfriend's picture. That's private to me. Okay? If I keep my son's picture, here's my son's picture. That's why my wife tells me, never post my picture on Facebook. Because my son steals it and he or she is going to make some funny things, then you never know. Privacy is the idea that if something that is very private to you or anybody, you want to keep it safe, you don't want anybody to tamper with it. Okay? Security is the mechanism to make sure the information that you have will always be there for you without getting harmed or affected by anybody. So now we say security is a means to an end to ensure our privacy. We need to take security measures in order to ensure we have privacy. Okay? So information security is what is the method you use to make sure that information is safe. When it is safe, my privacy is protected. Okay? So it's basically the ideas things. So now I want you to know something more about this information security and privacy. Let's go step by step. Watch this. This is from the United States Department of Justice.
Hello, I'm John Wall. As someone who's involved in crime solving, I've seen what a dramatic impact computer technology can have on law enforcement. I'm sure all of you in the Department of Justice realize how much easier computers have made their jobs. Even though we appreciate what computers can do for us, sometimes we take them for granted, don't properly safeguard their information. Sometimes it seems like we look at computers as if they were electronic filing cabinets. In some ways they are, but they're really much, much more. They also help us to communicate with each other, the public and the world. We don't keep them secure. Valuable information can easily be lost, stolen, or distorted. At the Department of Justice, employees are responsible for processing a huge amount of sensitive information. All your divisions, litigation to public support, work with information that needs to be protected. If it's not protected, even the most seemingly trivial information, like a social security number or an address, can lead to very serious or even tragic consequences. Take, for example, a real case that involved surplus computer equipment sold at a government auction. This equipment had been used in a U.S. Attorney's office. Before it was sold, all of the information was supposed to have been erased. Memories of these computers held sensitive data, including the names of undercover agents, informants, federally protected witnesses. Fortunately, after the sale, the government learned that all of the information was not erased. The department may never know if any of this information was compromised. If it was accessed, it would put many people into a life-threatening situation. In order to help each of you avoid situations like this, we'll discuss 3 aspects of computer security. First, we're going to explain what we mean by sensitive information, what kinds of information you need to protect. Second, we'll discuss risk management, which refers to the reason why computer security is important, why all of us need to be part of that effort. Finally, we'll talk about accountability, which explains your responsibilities as a computer user and how all Department of Justice employees can protect themselves and their information. Unless you know what the term sensitive information means, it's difficult to determine whether or not your work is sensitive. Although your data may not be labeled classified, it may still be sensitive and you need to protect it. Technical terms, sensitive information means anything which could adversely affect the national interest, conduct of federal programs, or would violate the Privacy Act if lost, misused, modified, or if someone gained unauthorized access. Simply put, everything in the Department of Justice is considered to be sensitive information. Information sensitivity can be broken down into 3 categories: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Confidentiality means that the information in your computer system needs to be protected from unauthorized disclosure. For example, time-sensitive information like pretrial data, procurement information, and information covered by the Privacy Act, someone's social security number, as we discussed earlier. Integrity means how accurate your data is. Your data will only be accurate if it's well protected. Unauthorized access to your computer could lead to integrity problems. For example, someone could get into your file and change data intentionally or unintentionally. Inadvertent mistakes, which may be as simple as inputting a wrong number or letter into a file, also threaten integrity. Anytime accuracy is critical, integrity is vitally important. Here's one that's easy to remember: availability. Availability involves information that needs to be, available at a specific time, even instantaneously, such as payroll information, law enforcement support systems. For instance, the work we do here at America's Most Wanted is a good example of availability. Information we receive from callers needs to be dispatched immediately. Any delay relaying information to the appropriate law enforcement agencies could mean the difference between a capture or a criminal just slipping out of our reach. Remember, the easiest thing to do is to consider everything you work with to be sensitive information. That way, you'll develop good security habits to help protect the data you're working with every day. As little as 10 years ago, I'd venture to say that most people didn't even know how to log on to a computer. Today, we have 12-year-olds writing sophisticated software programs. More people get involved in computers. Your systems are more vulnerable than ever before. The fact that most of your computers are linked together makes security more difficult. As a result, anyone on your network can gain access to your work if you don't protect it. What you need to do is reduce the possibility that your computers may be broken into. This information could be used in the wrong way. Risk management can help you accomplish this. So obviously, risk management is anything you do to minimize risk to your computer system. In order to practice good risk management skills, you need to determine what risks are out there. Once you or your management team have determined what they are, it's a simple matter of establishing and following common sense security procedures. Naturally, you can't expect to eliminate all of this. After all, to build a better lock, someone's going to find a better way to pick it. But you can take steps to minimize risk. That's what computer security in the Department of Justice is all about. Now that we've talked about what sensitive information is, have a good idea why it needs to be protected. Now I'd like to talk about what you as individuals, groups, and teams do to keep computer security at its highest level. At this point, I think it's important for each of you to remember that you are the most important aspect of computer security. You think that computer security means waiting until someone else in your office takes care of it, you're asking for trouble. That's like leaving your keys in your car, the door open, hoping that the next person who walks by will lock it up for you and return your keys. In other words, you have to assume personal responsibility for protecting your computer system. But you know, computer security is really very simple if you take some basic precautions to develop good security habits. The first thing everyone has to remember is to protect their individual areas. Here at home, you probably wouldn't be surprised to see the mailman walking up your sidewalk to deliver the mail. What if he showed up in your living room? Same principle applies at work. Know who should be in your area. If someone doesn't belong, don't be afraid to ask questions. Protect your equipment and data. You wouldn't leave your house unlocked, so lock up valuables at work, such as files, disks, hard copies, and journals. Your password can give someone else complete access to your files. No one but you should know it. If you knew a stranger had a copy of your house keys, you change your locks immediately. The same should be true for your password. Don't give it to anyone. Change it frequently. Be sure to use words that can't be easily associated with you. Make sure no one sees you enter. One of the most important things is to remember to log off. You forget, you're putting your files and every other piece of information on that network. You check it. Unauthorized software may seem like a great addition to your office. You may have all the best intentions for using it, but turn out to be more trouble than it's worth. Viruses and related threats such as Trojan horses, worms, and time bombs shut down the entire system. Best way to avoid them is by using only authorized software. There are antivirus programs which help to prevent infection. Your division should have one available. Check to make sure your computer has an antivirus program installed. If not, talk to your supervisor about getting one. Just as an extra precaution, it's always a good idea to back up your files before installing any new software. If you need to purge your memory, you have to be certain that all of the memory is completely erased or destroyed, so it can't be accessed later. Is equipment available to accomplish this? So find out what support is available to you. A degausser used to clear most magnetic data. Floppy disks need to be shredded or burned. Most software can be overwritten. Must be done properly. Ask for help. Find out the right way to do these procedures. Make sure anything you do is approved in writing. You may not be able to tell if someone or something has tampered with your information, so be alert. Look for unusual activity on your system. Watch your data. Has any been lost? Have there been any unauthorized changes? Is your data wrong? If you see inconsistencies, you may have a security problem. You should report it immediately. Finally, keep backups of your data. Be sure to keep all duplicates in a safe place. I know that as a Department of Justice employee, you're all very, very busy. No one appreciates the importance of your work more than I do. But the safety precautions we've just discussed can easily be learned if you practice good habits. Basic steps you take regarding security are extremely important. The time it takes to prevent security problems is nothing compared to the time you and your colleagues will spend if information is compromised. Don't forget, time is not the only thing you lose. Think about the human suffering that can be caused if your information is into the wrong hands. Keep in mind the three things we've discussed. Sensitive information. Now understand that everything you work with is sensitive information. Risk management. Find out what risks are a danger to you. Take steps to avoid them. And accountability. Remember, you're responsible for your work and equipment. I've had the privilege to work with a lot of Department of Justice employees. I know firsthand just how conscientious and serious you are about your work. Hope this video has helped you to understand how serious it is to protect the computer's information. I know every one of you will want to do your part for all of them.
So you have just watched a very concise video produced more than 25 years ago. More than 25 years ago, okay? When you look at the type of computer there, you know that it's an old computer. It's almost in the 1980s, okay, towards the 1990s. But the concept is still very much valid today. Three important concepts: sensitive information, which is considered as a CIA concept. The C for confidentiality, the I for integrity, the A for availability. I want to keep it confidential for me, so that no one is going to change it to becoming equal. So whenever I need to use it, it's available. Okay? So information, when it is considered sensitive, must be kept confidential. No one is going to change it, so it must be integral, so that when I need to use it, it's available. That is the CIA concept. Sensitive information. The second thing is, even though I want to try every method to keep the CIA as much as I could, I still need to pay attention to the risk involved that might attack this kind of methods to break my methods in such a way that my information will be stolen, changed, and made not available to me. So I need to consider risk management. So what if I actually lost my ID today? Normally, I would keep a photocopy of my ID at home, and I would immediately go to report to the police that I lost my ID. Here's a copy of my ID. So I'm going to tell the police, if anyone was trying to use my ID to do something bad, it's not my business. I report the loss. It's not my already. Risk management, part of it, because it's my personal responsibility, accountability. If I don't do that, okay, if I don't do that, it's going to hurt me. I still remember one day, about 2 years ago, I received a call from a police officer. He asked me, "Is this your phone number?" I said, "Yes, but it's already 5 years ago. I didn't use it for 3 years." "Okay, that's good, because we are looking into a murder case. The victim has this number." In Hong Kong, actually, the same numbers we use again and again. Okay. So when you go to have a new phone number, they ask you to select from a batch of number available, and you never know who got that number before. So it's very important as a person. You have to be very sensitive to what happened to that number. All right. So remember, information security in an academic sense, we want you to be able to understand the meaning of information sensitive, CIA, okay, and risk management as well as personal accountability. Now these short videos give you a lot of very interesting work procedures that you need to follow in any particular company. That particular organization is the Department of Justice in the United States, 25 years ago. But still, it's okay. You see the idea, all right? So that is computer security 101. That means the very basic, all right? So now I'm going to give you another very simple idea on information security. It's also located in your week number 1 blog. Here I would like to introduce to you security awareness. I've given you some idea about that. Listen, it's less than 1 minute, okay? simple and quick look at modern-day security measures when you use social networking sites like Facebook, MySpace. So, do you register an account with real name today? Yes, Facebook recommended you need to use real name today, but before, anybody use any name to be accepted. Okay? That is the reasons why a lot of the people with bad intentions understand that you never know who I am. So they did all the bad things. But today, the interesting thing about the recent story I heard about a guy called Snowden, the American guy who broke the bubble of the American spy business of looking into every US citizen and even across the world. You never know how much information is together. Oh, let me give you another example. Have you ever used Google Maps? You can go to everywhere in the world. Oh, this is Macau, this is where I live. Do you know how Google get information? They have a special vehicle. They drive the vehicle in time. The video tape in a 3D manner, all the buildings, all the streets, and then they have a very strong magnet-like computer. They can collect all the data in the air, virus data, so that your data may have been captured by them. And they did it without getting approval of many governments. When the government discovered it, they stopped them from doing it, even in Macau, they stopped them. So in some area of Macau, you cannot see anything, because they cannot do anything like this. See, they just have a very strong mobile network, and wherever they are, they capture all the data as the car go around the street. Just like that, they have all the data in the air, they analyze it. Okay? It's a very unethical thing, but because they have the technology at the very beginning, now, unless they're very explicit on what they're doing, a lot of the area cities will stop them from doing this, gather information. Although every day my son is not use Google Maps. And it's so interesting, this is where you live. Even go back to my school in the United States, oh, this is where you study, this is your university, this is where your church is. So I say, good. But it's really interesting. So you see, the one thing is good, the another thing that it might affect people, because they have all the sensitive information. You never know. So here, what do they say? When you are online, using social network like this, never give out your information to anybody. Okay? Particularly when you use a computer from the internet cafe, when those computers would like to ask, do you want me to keep your password? Never. They always ask you this question, right? Do you want me to keep your password? Never. Clean up all the computers. Otherwise, all the hackers will come here, good, I'm grabbing everything like that. Right? So this is a very interesting video. Modern day, all right? Modern day. So risk management. You know something about this. Okay? Sensitive information, risk management.
The first working version of the World Wide Web was introduced in 1991. To young people who have grown up with the internet, it might seem like a long time ago. But the business world is still adapting to a very radical set of changes that began in the mid-90s. Changes to the way companies process information and the way they do business. These changes have opened up a whole new world of possibilities and created a new set of challenges in dealing with the risks of computer security. In this presentation, we're going to talk about the processes that companies use to manage information security risk so they can take advantage of the opportunities that computer networking offers. First, let's take a brief look at the steps involved in managing security risks within a typical business organization. At a high level, the process is broken down into these functions: developing and publishing corporate security policies, identifying and classifying information assets, assessing and managing risk, designing and deploying security architecture, and managing and monitoring security controls. Next, we'll consider the roles that different levels of management play in managing security risks.
Did you see some message here? The lady there promised that they're going to give you examples of how to manage security risk. That means what? You're going to study something in this area as we go into the semester, all right? So remember, in the first Computer Security 101 video, we talked about sensitive information. We talked about how best we could do something inside an organization to help keep our information secure. These are very much human activities. Like a lady who would like to go to the restroom, living her computers, wanting to remember, so let's go back to lock the screen before to go to the restroom. And that is very important because in an open office area, everybody can come close to your desk and watch everything you do in the computer. And oftentimes, don't do something stupid. I'm afraid I'm going to forget my password. I'll write my password and stick to my computer. Okay? Where you get your information. All right? So the last piece that I would like you to know before the ERC person comes here to introduce you something about the writing service there is the idea of social engineering. Very important. Before I show you this, what is meant by social engineering? Where can you study it? Faculty of Science and Engineering, Faculty of Science and Technology, Faculty of Social Science, or both? Social engineering, what do you guess it's? An engineering discipline to make friends, or whatever. Have you heard this term before? Social engineering. No. Okay. Now I tell you, it's very simple. Social engineering is an interesting term for the art of deception, particularly for conversations. Okay, the art of deceptions. Art means some method, very sophisticated, to trick you, to convince you something that may not be true, particularly through conversations, and in particular through phone conversations. Okay, so that is a very interesting technique used by a lot of hackers. Okay, it's not the technology itself sometimes which will steal our information. It's the people who practice this art of conversations and trick people into giving them what they need. All right. So I'm going to give you stories about this, but in the meantime, let's try and give you this very soft introduction. Just less than 2 minutes. Because in the very first week, we get some basic ideas.
Whether they design bridges or spaceships or computer software, will tell you that the best way to do anything is usually the simplest way. Computer hackers want to steal secret information have something in common with engineers. Though they are often highly skilled at finding technical weak points in computer security, they know that security depends as much on people as on technology. And the simplest way to get what they want is to take advantage of human security weaknesses. To do this, they use a set of tricks known as social engineering. What is social engineering? Well, it sounds like something out of a new sci-fi or spy movie, doesn't it? Well, that might be closer to the truth than you think. In fact, social engineering involves manipulating behavior through psychology. It could be as simple as conning someone into loading spyware onto their computer, or befriending them so they reveal secret information. In social engineering, the hacker is taking the path of least resistance. Why go to all the trouble of trying to break encrypted code to get the information they want, when you can just as easily call someone up and ask for it? In the following presentation, we'll go over all the ways someone may use social engineering to get what they want, and the strategies to help you recognize it and protect yourself.
So in a minute, we're going to invite our ELC colleagues to help you understand some writing services from their center, because eventually this course you need to write the report. So I invite them to come here today to help us to understand something. They're going to spend the next 15 minutes to help you understand service in the English Language Center. They will come back again next week to help you to understand some practice in using American Psychological Association's citations and referencing. Okay, these are also very important. And so I'm going to pass the time to Tony here who read that.
So you go to this website, which you already have in your list. The first thing you need to do is you don't really bring your assignment in. You go in and then just like in a round table like this, you sit with other people and then you write. We'll give you some topics to write about, we'll give you some guidance. Again, no appointment, 2 days a week, 2:30 to 3:30. This is this is not exactly a service, but Christy just gave you a magazine that we publish every year. So this is our new t-shirt. So you're very lucky. You're the first few people who get to receive one of these copies. All the work insights are written by UM students, ranging from maybe year 1 to master students. So maybe at the end of this semester, if you have something that you're really proud of and you want to publish it, you can send us your work, and then we will have a selection process, and then we will publish your work if your work is selected. Doesn't matter if you're year 1, we also have year 1 students who have published in our magazine before. And our tutors design all the graphics and stuff, so it's very nice. So this is our overall flyer. You can see our flyers everywhere. So this one has all our services. And these are our tutors. We call them writing center tutors. You can basically just see them as readers. They are a second reader of your writing assignment. We don't proofread everything for you, but we discuss your writing with you. Okay, so we got all the students. I also work there. I also tutor there, but these are the main students. We have 8 of them. 6 of them are master's level students. 2 of them are undergraduate students, but then they are also experienced writers. Okay, now I have a video to show you.
To help you become a better writer, we can work with you together on any genre of English writing, including essays, reports, research paper and proposals, resume and cover letters, personal statements and presentations, and so on. We can even do some rewriting like brainstorming together.
To book a consultation session, go to ewcc.appointee.com. Click on New User to set up a new account with your personal email. And it's not suggested to use your UMac email. After you have logged in, just pick a time and click on Book Now. An email will be sent to you for confirmation. Remember that each session lasts for around 40 minutes, and writing is a process which takes time. You are encouraged to visit us again after revision.
In the Writing Center, we discuss the writing interactively by asking and answering questions, looking up dictionaries, and searching online information together. Here, we are not making evaluative judgments like, "This piece of writing is horrible," or, "I guarantee the professor will give you an A." Instead, we will discuss and give you some suggestions. You are the writer of your assignments, and you will decide the ultimate changes of your assignments. We all volunteer here, so we sit together to talk about a topic, organize and structure the content, and address some concern. I think my argument here is a bit weak. Is there any way to strengthen it? We can give some examples, facts, and statistics. Why not have a try? Sometimes you are stuck in the process of writing. Sometimes your mind goes blank. Come to our writing center. We can brainstorm together to search the light bulb in the dark tunnel and find aha moment. How can you relate critique with the brain? Think about it. Oh, smart is the new sexy. Be smart, be innovative. That's it. We encourage process writing. So, don't worry if your writing is not perfect enough. You can come here again. Seize the opportunity to improve your writing.
Tips number 1. Writing is a process and usually takes several consultations to shape a good piece of writing. So it's better not to come here just 1 or 2 days before deadline.
Tips number 2. Don't forget to bring along your assignment instructions, topics, and other materials related to your writing. Come to the writing center.
Come to the writing center.
Come to the writing center.
Come with us at the Learning Center. The Learning Center is a welcoming and supportive environment.
We are really comfortable to share about the writing.
You guys will do your writing process.
Our mission is to help you actually learn how to write.
Sorry, the last part might be too low. So our mission is to help you become better writers. So, do you have any questions? Okay. If you don't have any questions, I have some questions for you. Did you pay attention? Okay, maybe. So, if you answer my questions correctly, you will have points. Question number 1, where is your writing center? That's not enough. Library where? Raise your hand. I don't have too many classes. Who can answer this question? Yes. That's good enough. Okay, the computer area where you can see those fancy printers and Apple computers. Okay, question number 2. What are our opening hours? Yes, cheat sheet. You have the cheat sheet. Look at the consultation part. The consultation part. Do you know?
9:30 a.m. to 5:30.
Very good. 9:30 to 5:30. Okay, very good. Next. What services do we offer to students? Okay, just name 2. You get a prize. 2 services. No, maybe we'll leave a chance to another person. Come on, you have the cheat sheet. Oh, you guys are so honest. Yeah. Chat room and one more. Writing circle. Brilliant. Okay. One more question. Oh, sorry, no voice is saying. How can you sign up for our workshop? Our workshop. Not a consultation, a workshop. Go to the workshop flyer. Okay, I can get it now. Yeah, you can call me. No. What can you do? Do you know? The green box in your leaflet. Email, very good. You can email us. Okay. Now the last question is the most difficult question. Okay, it's not on your leaflet. Just now, one of the tutors give you some. The two tutors gave you some tips, right? Can you just give me one tip that they shared? All right, it's okay. I'll give you the answer. The tip is that writing is a process, so don't come to the writing center the day before the deadline. Okay? Not 2 days, maybe a little bit earlier so that we can help you and you can come back again. Okay, and also bring your assignment sheet. Your teacher will give you an assignment sheet so that you know what to do. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you for Brenda, thank you so much for your coming today. Introduces the Services English Language Center.
By the way, all our information.
That's great. Very good. They're going to come again next week, okay, to help you understand the specific ABA citations and references. Okay, let's give them a big hand. Thank you very much, because I just want you to understand that at the university right now, taking the GE courses, my approach is to give you enough opportunity to speak in class and share ideas every class. The second thing is the writing informally using a journal. This is called note-taking. And then learn to write with a critical mind with detail. That is the writing process. Okay? So you have everything you need in this course to get yourself ready for the college year. And this is your first semester supposed to be. So that's the reasons why I'm bringing the English Language Center people. In every university, considered as a good university, you must have a writing center, a study center, that helps students deal with things like this. Okay? So we may not have the study center here. The writing center is okay. But in your RC later, there will be a study center. Okay, so finally today, I think it's good enough. I've given you enough to talk about. And please go home, enjoy the website, look up the resources, use the online journal to write down some of your learning for today. Okay, in case you have any other question, feel free to write me email and I can answer. All right, so what about, is it okay today?
Yes.
All right, if it's too much, let me know. Because watching the YouTube video, I think is the most direct way to get some idea of course. I'm not going to cram you with a lot of technical knowledge. I want to make sure you understand how to think into the possibility. Okay? So, happy Mid-Autumn Festival. All right? So, me too. Thank you. Thank you. All right? So that's it for today. CISG113, Section 1, Information Security and Privacy. We're going to meet again next week. All right? Today is September 19, 2013. All right.